Hey everyone, I just wanted to hop on here and give you all an update. I meant to get to it last night, but I was still pretty out of it. And then this morning, I was still pretty out of it. I guess the sedative combined with my Vital Biome and natural muscle relaxer had more of an effect on me than I anticipated. Because I've been doing a good deal of sleeping. Also, my body is recovering from the trip. So, I just want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who prayed for me, who talked with me over the weeks. Just let me talk to them about how I was feeling, prayed with me, said they were praying for me. Big shout out to my church family, uh, who just kept me in prayer the whole time. To those of my friends who texted me the day before, day of, um, who just said, what time's your appointment? I'm gonna set an alarm and pray for you. Who texted me afterwards and said how it went. I just feel I'm just very touched by the outpouring of love. Um, I just feel very very blessed and very lucky to have such genuine friends like you guys. So about the trip and about the testing and results, we left the house around, I don't know, around 1 o'clock yesterday. It was about an hour and a half trip down, maybe a little bit less. Traffic was good. We went down to Columbia, Maryland, and a really beautiful town. We got there about 10 minutes before my appointment time, so they wanted me there by 2:20 to check in and fill out paperwork. So we got there. It's pretty easy to find. And then they didn't give us any problems about mom coming back to help me, being my assistant. That was one of the things I was really kind of nervous about, because I got a text a few days ago saying, when you get here, don't come in. You have to call. Masks are necessary. So I was thinking it would be back like in 2020 during the lockdown when only the patient was allowed back. But that wasn't the case. I had really great techs to take me back. They were very respectful of my excuse me, of my Christian beliefs, which I really appreciated. I did end up having to take my ponytail holder out for the CT scan and the MRI, even though it wasn't metal. I did bring an eye mask, but they ended up providing me with their own. I got to wear one of those fuzzy surgical caps, so I was still covered. My hair was up. That way, if I felt like I wanted to pray, I could. Um, because that's just one thing I'm very adamant about. I do believe in covering full time. If you have questions about that, feel free to PM me. But anyways, we got there and they took me back to put my IV in. No problem. That's actually another big thing I've overcome. I used to be petrified of IVs years ago and even a couple months ago, but it's something I've really worked through. But to put the IV in took me back. Getting onto the CT table was a struggle. Eventually, I had them bring me a stool just because my body was not cooperating. It was not allowing me the mobility to get on the table like I normally would. So they brought me a stool, and that made things better. Getting my body to cooperate to lay down was another story. We had to try a few times, easing me back each time while I held on to the tech's arms, basically like this, to help me lay back because my spine is now fused at the bottom, making certain movements very difficult, if not at times impossible. But we got me on the table and we did the CT scan, and then we got me off the table, and then we took me right down the hall with my walker to the MRI table. And then thankfully I had the same set of techs, so we came prepared this time. So they had four techs help me to get situated on the table because the table is not very wide and I'm a bigger lady. No, I'm not putting myself down. I'm just stating facts. I understand I'm a bigger lady, and the table is not very wide, so I didn't want to go tumbling off. So there were two techs on each side, and then one tech to help position my head to the MRI screen table. So what we did this time to make it less traumatic on my body was they helped me onto the table, and then they used what they call a mermaid lift to help me get situated. So basically, my legs, they wrapped their arms around my legs, so my legs were like this, and they wrapped their arms around, and they lifted me to the side and helped me got positioned, which was a lot less traumatic on my body and on my spine and legs. And then they had the sheet kind of, I guess you could say, up around me like this, and then they slowly lowered me back, so it was not traumatic on my back and spine, because laying on my back is very, very difficult for me, because I also have lordosis, which means my back goes like this. So I have an extra curve in my back. So we got me situated, and then they put the I guess you could say mob cap on me. Looks like a fuzzy shower cap, and then they put earplugs in my ears for me, so the MRI machine wasn't too terrible loud. And then they asked me if I had any problems with claustrophobia, and I said yes. And they said, okay, well, we can give you an eye mask if you want. So they gave me an eye mask, which I was very, very grateful for, because I'm pretty sure if I would have seen, I guess you could say, how small the tube was, even though it was a wide bore MRI, which is bigger than your usual ones, I still don't do very well in confined spaces. So once I was laid down, they lift my legs up, because I asked if I could have a bolster to help alleviate the pressure on my back, since the test was about an hour long, and I told them I would have great difficulty laying on my back for that long. So they said, do you want a bolster for your legs? And I said yes. And so they got me this really nice bolster, which actually had like cutouts for the legs, kind of like a cup. So it was cupping my legs like this. And then once they got that, then they put this, I guess, cage or something around my head. I was soft and foam, like I couldn't see anything. I could only feel. They just said, don't try to sit up without our assistance, because you'll bang your head on the machine. So I'm assuming there wasn't a whole lot of space between the top of my head and the machine. So they put that on me, and it was like, I don't know, soft around my head. It felt like squishy. And then they put something else around it. I'm assuming it's like a cage type thing to help the head stay still. All I know is that they said is it helped, I guess, intensified the magnetism, if that's a word, to the area of my head that they wanted. So they did that and put me in, and then to my pleasant surprise, the one tech asked what kind of background music I wanted. I was very surprised, because all the other MRIs they've always said, we don't have that capability, we can't do that, etc., etc. So I was very pleasantly surprised when they gave me my choice of music. So I was feeling in a very classical mood, so I said either classical or opera. So they put that in, and put the music on, and then put me in the machine. I did, before the test started, when I first laid down, when they were getting me situated, I did have a spaz attack in my lower legs and back, which really concerned me, because I was thinking, what if I get in the tube and this happens? Because they said I had to stay absolutely still. And when these spasms come on, I cannot control my body. I have absolutely no control over it. It's different from my fibro when my nerves jump, which I had already taken measures to make sure that didn't happen. I took extra nerve and ease that morning to appease the fibro nerves, because I knew they'd probably be angry after the trip down and just the wind. They don't like this weather. So other than that, I think the test went really well. I didn't feel any anxiety or anything like that. So I'm just really grateful for everyone who prayed for me at the time of the test, during the test, after the test, before. I really think that contributed to how the test went, along with my supplements. I took Extra Vital Biome, which is a special probiotic that helps ease feelings of discomfort, distress, things like that. Because I do have anxiety issues, and I do not take prescription medication for that. So instead, I've chosen supplements because I feel they work better for my body, and I do feel that God led them to me through different friends through my Plexus journey. But that really helped. It was just really amazing when I went in the machine. It's just like I just felt like praising and praying, and that was just really cool because I never felt anything um, like that really in times of distress. Usually, I'm very much one for panic attack. I mean, yes, I cry out to God, but it's not. It was just very different, and I was very glad, and a great feeling just to be in there and not feel distressed. I think of a song, I don't even know the name of it. It talks about praising you in the storm. And I know to some people an MRI might not seem like a storm, it might seem like a minor thing, but to me this was a very big deal. So the fact that I just was praising in the storm, I just didn't even feel any feelings of anxiety. It's like the Bible talks about the peace that passes all understanding, is what I have. And no, it's just a really amazing thing. This morning I got my results back. I don't really understand a whole lot of them, except for the MRI, it said that the tumor lesion, whatever you want to call it, has grown some. It was 1.3, excuse me, and now it's 1.5. Um, they said the CT scan didn't show anything abnormal. I guess my head looked like a normal person's. I couldn't really understand and interpret a lot of it because it was a bunch of medical talk, and I'm not a medical person. So I have to wait on the doctor, who will send me a message probably in my chart, I guess within the next week, next few days. I'm not sure. I know the surgeon is out of the office until around the 20th, so I'm supposed to contact his office manager around then to talk about the surgery date still of April 5th, which I'm hoping to keep. That means I will miss the ladies' spring luncheon at church, which I'm very sad about, but I don't want to have to wait several weeks or months even for this thing to come out. And in the meantime, I'd be missing more stuff. So I guess if I have to give something up, this is just what I have to give up. And I'll just ask my friends who were there what it was about. So anyways, that is my update, and talk to you later.